Pick one. Alright, so there's a lot of sweet werewolves. Sage of the Ancient Lore can get pretty big if you're drawing a lot of cards with a lot of clues and things like that, but generally I've been not super impressed. He's just a big body, and if you're playing out your spells, he's probably not actually all that impressive. Silver Partisan is actually pretty sweet. Solitary Hunter is a fine card. Deadweight's great. I may just take the Bound by Moonsilver here, though, and make the people to my left fight over the werewolves. I mean, could just take this thing and see how it goes. But it's been a while since I've been able to actually play this card. And it's sweet. Look at this art. That guy is not having a good time. So yeah, we'll just make my opponents to the left fight over all those werewolves. Alright, so we have some options here. Inexorable Blob is a great card, as is Nearheath Chaplain, Angelic Purge, Byway Courier. One of my opponents to the left is going to pick up the Moonlight Hunt, almost certainly. I think I might take the Chaplain here. This card is just so good, especially in the right deck. Angelic Purge is also a fine choice, but I think that getting the sweet uncommons is a nice pickup. So we'll go ahead and take the Chaplain. When I'm staring down a giant threat that I can't deal with, I might regret that decision, but the Blob is again a fine card. Normally it just ends up being a 3/3 for 3, which is it's fine. It's not exciting, but it's fine. Okay, so here we have not a whole heck of a lot that's really exciting. Let me just take the Strength of Arms here. You know, we could take the, the Manic Scribe. I do like this guy. Blue-white's not all that great, but it's fine. This is a fine card. But we'll just stay white and take the Combat Tricks. I do like the cheap combat tricks, and if we pick up some equipment, which we'll almost certainly want to do at some point, then you know, getting a little extra value out of my combat tricks is never a bad thing. See, that guy's just so upset that he can't transform into a werewolf. So upset. This is a flavorful pick too, since we are passing a lot of werewolves to our opponents to the left. So here, I mean, I could start cutting some people off in green and take the Solitary Hunter. I think that I'll probably get punished for that pack too if I go that route, which may make me want to take the Wicker Witch, but this card is super good. Try and do more aggressive white-red deck. We did that yesterday. Let's try something different. Vessel is also a fine card, not one that we're likely to see wheel, but we're going to go for the Flavor Fail here and take the Solitary Hunter when we are binding other werewolves. This guy's all alone though. Until it flips, I guess. Alright, so we could end up 4-drop flooded here if we take this Inspiring Captain. It's a fine card. I might take the Aim High though. I like having Reach. Loam Dryad's not exciting, but it's fine, especially for, you know, hopping us if we get some more 1 or 2 drops, for hopping us from 2 to 4 mana. But, yeah, I think I want to Aim High here. Twins is fine. Storm Rider Spirit's fine card. But this combat trick just gets people so often. Alright, so I might just take this little Thraben Inspector here. He's not the most exciting pick, but I've been generally pretty impressed with him. You know, he trades well. There's a ton of X1s in the format, and getting the clue when he enters the battlefield is nice. Apothecary Geist is a fine pickup as well, but it's rare that you actually see this guy in packs. He usually gets snapped up pretty quick, so this might actually be a nice sign that people are steering clear of white. Ooh, alright, so now we've got a choice here, Hinterland Logger or Confront the Unknown. Probably take the Logger here just because 2-drops are so valuable, and this is a particularly good one. Militant Inquisitor, again, we're probably going to want to pick up some equipment at some point, so this guy might be more than just a 2-3 for 3, but you know, he's just a vanilla creature that we're not too excited to play. Stitchwing Scob's a fine card, but you know, we don't really want to take it here. Take the Logger. Alright, so we get a Vessel. I think that's better than taking the Companion here. Just being able to filter through your deck and grab a land or a creature, or you know, we can even grab a Bound by Moonsilver if we need to. Or you know, when we hit when we pull our Sorin or something, which we will do, we can play that. Take an Apparatus for the sideboard. Probably won't end up playing it, but you never know. Don't know that Delirium's going to be especially important for our deck. Although now that I say that, here's a Moorland Drifter. And I think that taking this over the Vessel is fine. This card is okay, but you know, I think it's generally better to be a little bit more aggressive. And here we'll take a Root out just to use for the sideboard. Magnifying Glasses is also fine, but you know, we're hoping to have a whole lot of 2-drops and 3-drops at the end of this. I don't know that we'll want to end up playing a Magnifying Glass. It's a little slow for us. Loam Dryad might be suspect, but we'll see how the rest of the deck shapes up. It is a fine card, you know, similar to Thraben Inspector. It does block well. Ooh, and the Inspiring Captain came back. That's nice. So yeah, it does block well, and you know, if we drop one of this guy turn 1, you know, something else turn 2, then turn 3 we can play a 4-drop. Oops. Take this piece as the puzzle. Or do we want the Sweet Plains? No. Take the real card. So now it's probably when we get punished for taking green, since there's at least 2 or 3 green drafters upstream of us now. Ooh. Alright, so this is a pack. Jeez. Dauntless Cathar, Landholt Pacifist, Moorland Drifter, Fork the Road, Sin Prodder, Pale Rider is a good card. But Odric just takes over games. And, you know, having seen the Odric now, we'll probably want to get some more creatures with flying, or being able to more reliably get Delirium, so that we can get some evasion. You know, the lifelink from our Chaplain is nice. If our Logger is flipped, we can give our guys Trample. So all of that is nice. And here, this is a little ridiculous. There's like no cards that we want to play out of this. Might just nab this Call of the Bloodline. This card seems like it's particularly potent. I mean, we're almost certainly not playing. Like, I could play this main deck to get a Spirit to make sure our guys get flying, but let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen. Chaplain's Blessing is just never going into my deck. We'll just steal that thing. Alright, so here's a flyer. Topplegeist, another Thraben Inspector, Truthface Sensor, Fork in the Road. I'd be happy if any of these things wheeled. Even the Runway Carriage might be fine if it comes back around. I'm really hoping that this Truthface Sensor wheels. I seriously doubt Thraben Inspector or Fork in the Road will wheel, although with one being in the earlier pack, maybe someone will nab that one and not this one, or vice versa, who knows. Indestructible is also a nice thing to give all my creatures at the beginning of combat, so taking a Cathar's Companion seems good. Other picks for us might include the Emissary or the Shard, but I think I'll take the Companion. I don't know that we really want to get the equipment that gives us vigilance, the True Faith Sensor. I think that's going to be the important one for us. And here we'll probably just take a Gloom Widow. Let's deal with some pesky flyers. Humble the Brood's a fine card. Unruly Mob is not exciting. But Gloom Widow's fine. It's a very late thing in the ice. We can take this Confront the Unknown. Deal the Thraben Inspector to make another clue. I think this is probably the pick. The blue drafter is obviously getting hooked up. Look at this, Rise from Tides thing in the ice. Alright, so again, I'd love to see more 2 and 3 drops here. It's a very awkward curve right now. But we'll be happy to take another Inspiring Captain, Engulf the Shore. Yeah, the blue deck is just going to be insane this draft. Just gonna be insane. You could take this Wicker Witch actually. It helps fuel Delirium. We already have one captain, and it helps with our curve a little bit, so I think I'm gonna do that. Here we've got a fair number of humans, and this does grant trample to everything, so this is a fine card. Again, sweet blue cards, press for answers, and just the wind. It's nice. Necropod here, but the Provisioners I think is where it's at. Alright, with how wacky our curve is ending up, we're almost certainly going to play this Lone Dryad. Alright, so we got Moorland Drifter back. Fork in the Road would be nice, but I think that we want to prioritize some 2 drops here. It would be nice to add a sorcery to the mix so we can get Delirium online a little bit more reliably. You know, if we could get a Rapid Bite, that would be amazing. I'd love to see a Rapid Bite. And we might have a chance, pack 3, for some good green stuff to come around. You know, white seems like it's underdrafted. I mean, there's still obviously some other folks nabbing white at the table, but you know, getting the Moorland Drifter and seeing that Inspiring Captain come back around is maybe a sign that we're doing something right. I'll just take the Grotesque Mutation here. We could nab a Niblis or take a Chaplain's Blessing, but again, never playing that card. It is a sorcery. Help with Delirium, but not the sorcery that I want to be playing. Let's buy a long shot. Alright, and we got our fork in the road. It's also the runaway carriage, but I think the fork in the road is better for us. Just to get some delirium going, as well as fix our lands a little bit. Don't know that we're in horrendous shape, but again, this curve is just so clunky. Here we got one more pack to rip an Avacyn. Are we gonna do it? We're gonna do it. This card is a beating. Is for sure. Alright, we'll take... You know, I might take the Emissary here just because sometimes this thing can go over the top. The Shard is fine, but I don't think it's what we... Not the equipment that we want, again, rather than want the Vigilance equipment. Especially considering that I've got a good amount of humans. My Thraben Inspector, Logger if it's not flipped, Captain, Chaplain, Provisioner. This thing is human, right? Yeah. And then obviously Odric. We're just gonna get wrecked by that. The 4 mana blue bounce all your dudes spell though. Card is gas. I don't know that we really saw anything pack 1 that really would have driven us towards blue. I think we saw Press for Answers and the Stitched Wing Scob. Alright, well, do I stay the course and be disciplined and take something sweet like a Veteran Cathar, or do I just go for broke and nab this ridiculous thing? You know, Hermit is also fine, but this card is super powerful. Dauntless Cathar is also great, but God, none of this stuff is ever coming back around to us. I mean, this... There's like no chance that this thing gets back to us, right? Oh well. So we'll take the Cathar and, you know, hope to wheel maybe an aim high out of this pack. It's makes me sad, but giving all my dudes double strike is just like that's unreal. That just ends games right there, especially if I've got a Provisioner on the board as well to give them trample. Game. Game over. Alright, so we've got Perish Blade, Quilled Wolf. Normally I'd snap up the Quilled Wolf, but here, like, do we have a good chance of actually hitting Delirium? We've got a Fork in the Road, we've got the Vessel, the Wicker Witch. I actually may be able to reliably trigger Delirium, in which case giving my guys first strike is extremely powerful. So this might be the pick. But Quilled Wolf is just such a good card. Huh. Yeah, I think that the edge case where we get first strike and are able to give the rest of our team first strike is not as good as just a 1-card win condition can beat. Alright, here we go. Obsessive Skinner, Rabid Bite, another Solitary Hunter. I think I'm just going to take the Rabid Bite here. I would love to have picked up this Skinner, but I just don't think it's in the cards. Confront the Unknown. You know, I would love to slide this in lieu of the Strength of Arms. I don't think that's coming back around though. Yeah, I'm very glad that I was a little bit disciplined with that Angel pick. I mean, it is just, card takes over games when you land it, but 8 mana is no joke, and considering that I want to kill my opponent quickly, it seems like not the direction that we want to go. Not the direction we want to go. Ooh, this, however, might be nice. I do love this card. It's a little bit slow for our deck, but I mean, being able to just get your opponent to like 5 life and start swinging with your guys with impunity because they will take a point of damage if anything dies is really strong. Second Uvenwald Mysteries we've seen going around. This card is great. I think I want the Evangel. It also helps us get Delirium online. Alright, we can either take a Drifter, Vessel. Vessel helps us get Delirium and also gets us flying, which is nice. Although the only cards we really care about Delirium for right now are these Drifters, and they give us flying. So I might actually just take this Swine as a big beater. Wow, another Evangel, but I think I'm going to take the Wolf again. 2 drops are just great. Oh god, it's so hard to turn this card down. Yeah, I think I've got to be the Wolf here. I'll take an Angelic Purge gladly. The Devil Thorn Fox is, you know, it's an early beater, but yeah, not all that exciting. And here we'll take a Clipped Wings for the sideboard. Strength of Arms would also be acceptable, not as exciting. But having the Root Out Clipped Wings package to bring in if we find annoying things is always nice. Right, and we have another Aim High that we can jam in. Or we could go for the Ethereal Guidance. I think that the Aim High is probably just more likely to come in. If we play against a lot of flyers, it's good. Even if we don't play against flyers, it's a fine pump spell. Oh, and here's an Ethereal Guidance anyway. I might play that main and then just board it out if I don't need it. We'll snag a Militant Inquisitor, which we will almost certainly not play. And I think that having that Vessel would have been nice. Maybe I should have taken that. Giving all my guys flying just seems so good. But we do have this to generate some spirit, so if we can get to Delirium, we've got our Drifters, we've got our Topplegeist. And again, playing around the corner case where we've got Odric on the board, and we're just winning more, seems like if we're already planning on winning, then why play those other things? Although having the Vessel with the Ethereal Guidance would have been really nice. sometimes that just wrecks people out of nowhere. All your spirits just jam in for a bunch of damage. Probably not going to play this Emissary or this Gloom Widowbane. And since we picked up a nice number of 2-drops to fill out our curve, we'll probably not play the Militant Inquisitor. This thing is powerful. I probably won't side it in, but you never know. Oh, and we got a vessel back, right? So we'll jam that in. Especially since I've kind of signed myself up to play this card, which may or may not be correct. But I might take the Wicker Witch out as a result. And then I can take out the aim high. Oops. Take out the aim high, at least initially. I've got, Purge, Bound, and Rapid Bite as some solid removal, so I don't really. Winning combats is nice, but I like the cheap pump spells to do that. Other potential cuts. How many humans do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 humans, so I don't know how, or 8 humans. I don't know how likely it is that I'm pumping something with this. So maybe I can take this out. Then beyond that, the vessel is pretty slow, but again, it does get me to Delirium, which is nice for my swine and my drifters. It does get me flying, which I really like. Let's see. Could play 16 lands. Seems really greedy. Could take out this strength. Just leave in the 1 confront. I don't know if I like that. I kind of like having 1 of each. Though I don't know that I necessarily need it. Again, I've got the Purge, the Bound, and the Rapid Bite as removal. Or I could leave this in and take out the Ethereal Guidance, which might be slightly better. Although this card does occasionally end games, but when most of my guys are on the ground and the only way to throw them in the air is with Odric, it maybe is not the best finisher. So yeah, maybe we try this. We are 2-drop flooded. Thought that we were going to have a dearth of 2-drops, and here we are with a million of them. So let's add some lands. 8 and 9. Let's see. The only double card I have is the Swine. I do want to hit green on turn 2, and green gets me more lands, so I may actually play 8 and 9 here. Just because being able to turn 1 vessel or turn 4 from the road and go grab a plains if I need it is nice. But if I hit plains, then I can't use my white spells to go grab a green source of mana. I have to have green mana to do the opposite. Plus, I really want to be playing a Quilled Wolf or a Logger turn 2. The Veteran Cathar, actually, I prefer that to come down on like turn 6, but I'm not going to turn down at turn 2 Veteran Cathar. And again, with my Topplgeist and my Drifters, being able to hit Delirium is going to be pretty key. You know, the drifters are less so. The top guy should just noise the crap out of people when that thing hits delirium. And I'm a little sad that we had to pass up the what do you call it? The thing that puts +1/+1, Obsessive Skinner. Get +1/+1 counters every turn, or a +1/+1 counter every turn. And someone to our left has the nuts werewolf deck, I'm sure. Although we weren't passing them a ton of stuff. Pack 1, Pack 3, there were a few things for that deck. And we have no idea what they may have seen Pack 2, but I'm sure we'll get blown out by werewolves at some point. We'll go ahead and take a quick snapshot of this. Use that as our little cheat sheet later if we need to. And we'll go ahead and submit. And I will be right back. Things got good for us pretty quick in Pack 3. Being able to get the Cathar was nice, or was that Pack 2? I forget. But both of the Cold Wolf pickups were great. Pious Evangel was great. Being able to potentially get a second one would have been nice, but you know, I don't want to be too greedy. I'm not a greedy man. We've got some decent sideboard plans here. We've got a package for flyers, which is great. We've got some pesky enchantment and artifact removal, which also combo generates a clue for confront. In the corner case that actually matters. Got our might beyond reason if we run into some big dudes that we just can't attack past. Need some extra buffs. Although our Purge and our Bound by Men Silver kind of help us out there. They can just take care of whatever we need. And I love this card. My opponents will often forget that you can move this from creature to creature. So you play a big threat one turn, you bind it, and then they play a bigger threat next turn, and they think, haha, I got you. And then you're like, no sir, no, I got you. then you proceed to get them, of course. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?